Okay, in this video, I'm going to go through what I used on the West Highland Way. I've had a few people message me and obviously ask me about the journey I took and obviously the kit that I used in 5 days, bearing in mind that I backpacked. So this video is going to be aimed at backpacking the West Highland Way. A good starting point is these two books. That was my first investment before I'd done anything this year. Was looking at these two books and then planning my journey from here. So that's a really good investment, buying these. Really good. So what I'm going to try and cover in this video is obviously from the starting point of obviously getting to Mulgrave, where I parked my car, obviously from there, obviously starting the West Highland Way and going through day 1 up to day 5 and obviously my kit as well. So without further ado, let's start with the rucksack. Gregory Focal 48. Now, this is not the actual 48 in the rucksack I use. This is a 58 actually. I had a bit of a mishap with the 48 and I couldn't get it replaced, and the only ones he had in stock was a 58. So he's no great shakes, but the one I actually done it was the 48, and it suffered a little bit of damage, so I had to change it. And I got this one. So big shout out to Ultralight in Middlesbrough. They've, in this video, all the stuff that I'm going to show you is what I've used and bought out of my own money. So no one sponsored me for any of this kit. But I want to give a big shout out to them because they've been amazing in the stuff I bought off them. So yeah, Gregory Focal 48. This was a really good rucksack. I've done a lot of research, and this is really comfortable on long journeys. really good. Works well. Okay, next we'll have a look at obviously the kit that I was wearing during the day, and it sort of kept me dry to a point anyway. I mean, you can probably see from the video of obviously how much rain there was. So I had these on quite a bit, my Rab bottoms, waterproof bottoms. I've had these a few years, absolutely brilliant to be honest with you. Fit me well, really good. So the Rab bottoms, I'll link everything in the description below of obviously all the kit that I did use on this trip. The waterproof bottoms are a must if you like going out in the outdoors and you live in the UK, then they need to be handy. Jacket, my mountain equipment, my go-to jacket, me sort of most waterproof jacket, and it did keep me dry to a point. I think day 2 it did reach saturation and the water did get through in the end, but yeah, it was a good bit of kit to be honest with you, and I've used this for a good few years, different ones of these. This is the Let Who's jacket, fantastic to be honest with you. The hood's really good on it as well, so it's got the draw cord on the back there, so you can pull that round, and yeah, really good jacket. A lot of money, big investment, but definitely a good jacket. What did I wear on the bottom? Well, I wore these Sailway bottoms, really good. They're a bit pagged now, but these are really comfortable. I just took one pair with me. Started stinking a bit by day 4 and 5, but really good pair of trousers. I was just looking at the weight really, so I just took them with me, and they dry out really quickly as well. So that's the Sailway bottoms. Again, fit me really well. They're pretty good. Took this jacket as well. You've probably seen me wear this in the video. This was a bit of a a last minute buy. I got this jacket. I believe it's called the Bolaris jacket. Fantastic actually, because it's really lightweight. So when it's just not quite warm enough to just be in a t-shirt, I wore this, and this was brilliant, absolutely fantastic. It's got a couple of good pockets on there as well for storing kit, but you see me wearing this a good part in the video, and I still wear it loads now if I'm out walking the dog or out in the mountains guiding. This is a really good piece of kit to be honest with you. So that's sort of the outer garments that I was wearing every day, which work well, and I highly recommend everything I've just shown you there for walking as well. So they were really good bits of kit. Okay, then let's look at day 1 and what I've done, and obviously what the start point was for me. So got to the train station at Mulgrave, parked my car there. Believe it or not, free car parking in March 2023 when I was there. I couldn't believe it. I had to go on the platform and ask the staff if it really was free parking at a train station, and it was. So, and I've also booked my ticket. So I've got a return journey from Fort William 6 days later, because I had a night in Fort William, which I'll come on to a bit later on. So that was my logistics plan, was to park the car there and obviously start the walk to Fort William, and then get the train back. And that train journey on the way back is totally amazing, really good, which you'll probably see. I'll put some shots up of the train journey, but yeah, really good coming back. So day 1, the plan was to walk from Mulgrave to Slacky campsite, which turned out to be 37 kilometres, which I sort of knew when I was planning it how far it would be. day one, really flat, massive, like just flat walking everywhere, and it did do me in a little bit because I am used to obviously ascending mountains as opposed to flat walking. Really good. Once you get out of Morgaive, I stopped at a whiskey distillery. I sorted my kit out there. It was really wet that day on day one, so I bailed in there for a little bit and then carried on. I think my first stop off for lunch was Drummond. I went in there. I had a liquid lunch. I think I had a pint of Guinness there, which was pretty cool. And then from there, it was on to Balham, which was sort of my second stop of the day. So he's getting on to sort of tea time now. I stopped there for a cup of tea, piece of cake, and then it was on to Slacky Campsite. Slacky Campsite, really good campsite. Very basic, but clean and tidy. It's just got some toilets and water there, basically, and there's some really good pictures. So once you get there, the views are amazing. You're into Loch Lomond, and it's really cool. So that was sort of day one of my journey, really. Tent, right. I took the Nordis Telemark 2 with me. A good tent. I'm not going to slate it. However, there was a lot of condensation, and it really disappointed me. It was easy to set up. It was just over a kilo in weight, so it carried well on the rucksack. Really good tent, really good materials, loads of innovations in that tent, very adaptable. However, every time I used it, it was just saturation inside. So I was absolutely gutted, to be honest with you. I've been in the rain all day and then setting up a tent, and then even getting wet the next morning when I'm waking up and my sleeping bag's wet and that off of that. So it was testing, to say the least, of being wet all day and then obviously having a wet tent inside as well through the condensation. That's all I'm going to say on the tent. With party company, I no longer have the Nordis Telemark. So that was obviously the issue with the tent for me, but that's gone. And what did I have on my feet for 5 days? I had these, the Sportiva GTXs. So not the most waterproof pair of shoes, but mega comfortable pair of boots. I found out towards the end they were a little bit tight for me and my feet did swell up, but these were really comfortable, but not very waterproof. Socks, I had these, the 1,000-mile socks, as again you've probably seen on the video. So I had 3 pairs of these with me, and I took a small pair of Salomons as well as a backup pair. So I think I had 4 pairs of socks. I had 3 pairs of these, and obviously those as well, which was really good because obviously when these got wet on day one, obviously I had them to wear in bed if I needed to, and then at day 2 I had another pair to put on that would dry. So what I'd done, I swapped these 2, dried them out, and I still had a spare pair as well. But after day 3 I did manage to get these boots dry. Would I wear them again? No, because I've swapped to Innovates now, but they're still good boots. I just think after having them for a year, that's when I'll use these after a year. They've got no waterproof whatsoever about them now. The only thing I use these for now is walking the dog. But however, they was okay on the West Highland Way. Like I said, they are like slippers, but I think how waterproof they are and how quickly they lose it is a bit of a disappointment. So that was the socks. That's what I had on my feet. Okay, looking at the sleeping system that I used, and this is tried and tested for me, is the Sea to Summit insulated light. Really good, brilliant. Again, pretty lightweight. I'll put up the exact weight of this. It's about 600 grams, I think it is, but I'll put it up on the screen anyway. But really good, and I've used this for the last 3 or 4 years. It's a really good piece of kit, to be honest with you. I knew it was going to be still cold because there was snow on top of the mountains in Scotland. So what sleeping bag did I take? Well, I took this. I took my Rab Ascent 700. Really good sleeping bag. I love it because it's really big inside, so you've got loads of room to manoeuvre. I sleep on my front, so this was perfect. I was going to take me Alp kit, Pipe Dream 400, which is quite lightweight, and it's nowhere near as warm as this. And I wanted a good night's sleep, to be honest with you, and the amount of walking I was doing. And this I've had down to about -4, -5. So coupled with the mat, it was a really good pair, and I'm pleased in the way I did take this. I think it's about 1,100, about 1,100 grams. This again, I put the weight up for the sleeping bag, but yeah, I was pleased I took that to get a good night's sleep anyway. So that was the sleeping system that I took. Moving on to day 2, waking up on Loch Lomond was amazing. It was still raining on day 2, and don't get me wrong, I thought day 2 was quite a tough day. The path is up and down when you walk along the side of Loch Lomond. There's some good flat areas, but there's sections where the time of year I was doing it, some of the path had actually washed away. So that was quite interesting. There's a couple of hotels that you hit as you walk along during the day. So just remember, if you're on sort of where I am now, there's no shops. You know, you're just relying on hotels. If you're looking for food and drink and stuff, you're relying on that. And it is quite a big distance that that you're covering. The length of Loch Lomond is a big loch, so don't underestimate how big that loch is. So yeah, day two, I managed to stop at one of the hotels, went in the Clansman bar, dried some kit out in there, which was really good. It was still early in the morning, not really open, but they let me come in, put radiators and that on, so I managed to dry some of my kit out in there, which you've probably seen on the video anyway, which was brilliant, to be honest with you. Set off from there, and then just carried along the path. Like I said, easy to find. The route is really easy. There's loads of signs everywhere. You'll see if you ever do the route how good it is and how well signposted it is. Didn't have amazing views because obviously the rain. So my plan on day two was to go to another campsite, the campsite I was going to was actually closed but I was going to try and wild camp somewhere in that area. Benglass. I was trying to get to Benglass, but I didn't. I hit the Boffey. So day two, I hit the Boffey there, and it was a good shout, to be honest with you, because the day I was drenched through. Absolutely, it's probably the wettest I've been in a long time. So I think it was 6-7 o'clock when I finally stopped walking. So 10, 11 hour day. I stopped at the Bothy, and there was quite a lot of people inside. So I went in there, got stripped off all the wet kit, put the dry gear on, and I was thankful that everything that I had taken, I double bagged in my rucksack as well, so I had no water coming to my rucksack whatsoever. So for the kit that I used to sleep that night, obviously, in the night before, I've got an icebreaker top, which is absolutely fantastic. This is the 200 icebreaker, really warm. I mean, that was on day two when I got in the Boffey. I was cold, I was absolutely saturated. Took all the wet kit off, put that on, and I got these bottoms as well. So I've got some long johns which I use for sleeping in. Again, I put those on in the Boffey, and I just soon warmed up straight away with obviously my rab jacket in a minute, which I'll show you. But they come with me everywhere, to be honest with you. While camping, it's so important to keep these bits of kit dry. Really is. Because you'll be thankful after a day of walking that you put something in, that you're going to put something on that's nice and dry, to be honest with you. So yeah, really good. So this was my jacket of choice. I've got a few different types of jackets. So I took this down jacket, the Rab. Like I said, I knew it's still going to be quite cold at the end of March in Scotland. So I took this. I probably could have got away with, I got a smaller Montane one. However, on day two in the Boffey, when I was cold, this was amazing. Absolutely brilliant, to be honest with you. I think I only wore it a couple of times. I think I wore it once in the Boffey and maybe on day three when I was at the Bridge of Orkney. But yeah, I took this down jacket. So kept it dry. It was fine, to be honest with you. So that was pretty much day two, to be honest with you. Like I said, don't underestimate Loch Lomond. There's a few bits down there. There's a few little scrambly bits where you're quite high up on the path, and obviously you've got some drops down into the loch there. Okay, looking obviously what I took, my cooking setup, to be honest with you. I took the ETA Lite. Again, tried and tested, absolutely fantastic. Cooking system there, to be honest with you. So yeah, use that. I use this all the time, to be honest with you. I like my cups of tea, so I took a little Nalgene bottle for my milk, cup, collapsible cup, and obviously a spoon. Now food wise, I took because obviously 5-day trek, so I took 4 breakfasts, because obviously I had a breakfast on day 1, sorry, if you like. So I had 4 breakfasts with me. Really important, to be honest with you, breakfast. So yeah, 4 porridge, took those, which were really good, and I took 3 main meals as well. So because I knew on day 4 when I was at Kinloch Leaving, obviously there's takeaways and stuff there. So day 4, I got some food in Kinloch Leaving, but it did shut early. So I got there. I think by the time I got out to go and look for some food, it's about 8 o'clock, and quite a lot of stuff had shut up actually. So I think I ended up in the Co-op or somewhere like that getting some stuff. So yeah, day 1 at the campsite. day 2, and then Bridge of Orkney, I had some food at Bridge of Orkney as well, which I cooked up some food there. So yeah, that's what I took. I also take, I had plenty of like snacks, porridge bars and stuff like that. I always take plenty of soup with me, because they're really good snacks as well. So yeah, I always take plenty of soups. They're really good. Plenty of tea bags, flint and steel. So I don't bother with matches or anything like that. I take a flint and steel. I know it's going to start every time, especially how wet it was as well. Electrolytes. So these were really good. Electrolytes. I was taking a couple of these a day, and they do help you stop getting cramp. I do get cramp in my legs sometimes, but they were fantastic, to be honest with you. Electrolytes were really good, and some hot chocolate as well, just for a little energy boost if I needed that in the evening. I always take plenty of hot chocolate. So that was pretty much what I took in the way of food. You'll see on the video where I managed to stop at a couple of pubs during the day and get some food. You've got the honesty shops as well. They're more this side of Loch Lomond. I didn't see any, once I got past Loch Lomond, I didn't see any more places really like that. But before you get to Loch Lomond, there was a couple of places they got the honesty shops there. So I think making sure you're stocked up and you've got stuff for your lunch and that is important, because the pubs I stopped at, all the restaurants, if you like, or the hotels, they just do obviously alcohol in snacks. Really, that's all I found when I was there. So it's important to make sure that you've got the food with you that you're going to need. And obviously, as I went along, obviously my rucksack got later, because obviously this was depleting. But I wanted to be totally self-sufficient and made sure that I had enough food, obviously, for the evenings, which is really important to refuel up again. Okay, moving on to water filtration. There was plenty of places you'll see where you can obviously fill up your water bottle. Absolutely loads of them, to be honest with you. I never had to use this. I took it with me. This is my Catadine B3 water filter, which basically you can fill up and drink straight out of it. Really good bit of kit actually, but I did not need to use it. There's plenty of places to fill up along the way, and even the pubs and that, obviously fill your water bottles up as well if you need that. So what I was doing was using that for my electrolytes. So I had one of those in there, and then if I did need to stop and get any other water or whatever, and when I was cooking, I was using that one. So that's all I took with me, to be honest with you, was like 2 litres. And I tried having at least 2 litres somewhere near when I was walking most of the day. So I always had water to hand. Obviously, it wasn't mega hot when I was there. If you're out in the summertime and it's really warm, then you might be thinking 3 or 4 litres with you. But 2 litres was absolutely ample for me, to be honest with you. And obviously using the electrolytes. So that was my water purification system. But like I said, never need to use it. Okay, moving on to day 3. So I left the Bothy. I was a bit behind. I was 4 kilometres, so I had to make 4 kilometres up that day because I wanted to be somewhere near Benglass, but I wasn't. So day 3 was a big day. It was a big day, and I covered a lot of distance again. It was over 33, 34 kilometres, I think. Day 3 was to stay on. Obviously, my schedule. I wanted to do it in 5 days. Leaving, so to day 3, the weather picked up actually, and it was a lot better. So I managed to obviously put my socks on the side of the rucksack and start drying kit out. And I did, and I started really enjoying day 3, to be honest with you, because the views start to get really cool. You leave Loch Lomond, and then you're making your way towards Bridge of Orkney, which is really cool. Right, okay, some final bits of kit I'm going to finish off with, really, and some important bits as well. This was a really really good piece of kit, to be honest with you. Putting your mobile phone in. I bought this, and this was, I mean, I know most mobile phones are dry, but I wanted to make sure the charging point stayed dry. So I had this in here pretty much for the first 3 days anyway. That sat in there, and that was a good buy, to be honest with you, and keeping that phone absolutely bone dry, because that was my main point of contact for comms in bits and pieces, and I had the OS maps on there as well, which I was looking at. I had my comprehensive first aid kit, so if I'm out in the mountains guiding or whatever I'm doing, this first aid kit stays exactly the same. So I take that from by myself. I'm out of a group, so I've got quite a comprehensive first aid kit in there. Towel, I took the Sea to Summit medium one, really good. So on day 4, which I'll come on to in a minute, I managed to get a shower. It cannot leave, and it was really welcome, to be honest with you. That was day 4 when I managed to get a shower. But yeah, I took a small towel, which is really good actually. I always take plenty of like mini freezer bags with me, because these come in handy, obviously, for your rubbish, so you can seal them up so you don't get any leakage or anything like that. I took some deodorant, a small shower, some shower gel, which I used on day 4. A toothbrush, toothpaste, and some toilet paper in there as well. So that was me wash kit, to be honest with you, which I had. I kept that as small as possible. I've got a bits and bobs bag here, so I took a torch. I've got some repair kit in there, some paracord, just bits and pieces that I think most of us take if we're embarking on something like that. So that's me bits and bobs, like you said. There's stuff I can repair, bits of kit and that in there. So that come with me as well. So they were my final bits of kit, and obviously I took plenty of dry bags. I had one big dry bag and then other dry bags. So I double bagged everything because I knew obviously the weather for the first couple of days was going to be biblical, which it was, to be honest with you. Okay, day 4. So leaving the Bridge of Orkney, left there, stopped at a really good hotel, only after about an hour's walking, not even that. I'll put the name of it up here, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But they've done a good bacon sandwich, which is the most important thing. A good bacon sandwich and a cup of tea. And I think I said that in the video as well. But that was really good. So I had like a second breakfast, to be honest with you. From then, the views get amazing. You know, when you start going into the Glencoe Valley, which I've been into many times, actually, to be honest with you, that was really, really good. King's House, so me sort of second stop was at the King's House Hotel. Quite expensive in there, actually. I think I might have had burger and chips, but I had some food in there, had a drink. It was a good stop off point, to be honest with you. The weather's really cool now as well. It's good, and the views, you know, absolutely amazing. You can see Glencoe and everything around there. So yeah, the views are really, really cool. Really felt like I was on the West Highland Way then, you know, when I was going through the Glencoe Valley and that. I thought, yes, this is what I've come to walk and see. You know, say up to the Devil's Staircase. It's not as bad as what you think it is. It's just a steady plod up a hill, to be honest with you. The highest part of the West Highland Way. Get up there again. The views are really, really good. When you leave there and you make your way down to Loch Lomond while stopping that night in the campsite there, it's quite a walk. You underestimate it. You leave the Devil's Staircase from the summit there, and you think, all right, the next one's Loch Lomond. But I still think it was a good couple of hours. I can't remember the distance again. I'll whack up the distance from the summit down to Loch Lomond. It's quite a windy path when you go through some woods down the bottom, and obviously leads you into the campsite there. Campsite was really, really good at Loch Lomond. It was fantastic. Like I said, I had a shower, picture tent there. Really, really good. I didn't get much footage on my GoPro because I think the batteries died by the time I got there. But yeah, it was good. Loch Lomond is restaurants, there's some pubs and stuff there. Like I said, I got there quite late, so I think it was the co-op, to be honest with you, with a meal deal and bits and pieces. But it was cool, to be honest with you. One other piece of kit I forgot to show you, my slippers. Had these with me as well. I've had these a few years. I think I got them from Aldi for like a 5 or something like that. Mega lightweight, and it's good to change your footwear as well, so you've got something to wear inside your tent. So I think that's pretty much all the kit. So yeah, and I had a woolly hat with me as well, in some gloves as well. I had some mitts that I took with me, obviously to keep my hands warm if it did get too cold. Right, day 5. So woke up obviously at the campsite, packed the kit away, had some breakfast, and then I was just like really looking forward to day 5 because I know again the path is really good. You know, you're going to see some amazing views of Papa Glencoe and all those, going through that part there from Loch Lomond to Fort William. It's a steady plod. You go along a military road. Again, some amazing views. It goes on and on. It is still quite a good sort of trek, to be honest with you. And then you descend. When you descend into towards Fort William, you go through the forest, quite a gravelly track, and that down there. I had some shin splints at this point, so it was knacking my shins, to be honest with you. But when you hit the road down the bottom there, you basically follow the road into Fort William, and it was great, to be honest with you. Really, really good. I think I got there about 5 o'clock. I went straight into Witherspoons after I'd been to obviously the official finish point. Sat there for a couple of minutes, gathering my thoughts, went into Witherspoons, had some food, and then what I'd done that night, and I booked it a couple of days before, I stopped at a hotel in Fort William, and do you know what? It was only £60-70. I can't remember the name of the hotel, but I will put it up, and I thought it was really good value for money, to be honest. We've had a massive room, it was clean and tidy, and it was nice to put my head down in a bed that night, to be honest with you. I never shower. I think I went out, had some food in Fort William, a Chinese or something like that. Next morning I was up into Witherspoons, big breakfast, set me up for the day. That's all I really needed. And then it was on the train. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the train journey from Fort William back to Mulgai was about 4 hours. So I booked my ticket. So this is on the Sunday now. So when I done my journey, I started on the Monday. And then did I start the Monday? I'm pretty sure I started the Monday, to be honest with you. I'm losing track when I done it. Yeah, so, no, sorry, I started it on the Tuesday. Sorry, yeah, I started on the Tuesday when I done me when I done the West Highland Way. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I got to Fort William. Yeah, so I started on the Tuesday and finished on the Saturday and booked my train for the Sunday. So yeah, really good train journey, to be honest with you. An amazing view. So that is pretty much my journey, my story, the kit I used. Hopefully if you're looking to do the West Highland Way, this might help you. I tried including like my logistics, which I haven't seen on anyone else's videos before, so I tried including where I left my car, how I got back to my car and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching.